I hope you're having a great day. Well, today I want to talk about something which is very important to all of us. You see, we live in a world today where emotional health has become so important, and we constantly hear things about chanting and affirmations and meditation and yoga and all of these things, which are great, but at the same time, spirituality has also become a fad. People have like a to-do list: chanting done for 1 hour, yoga done for 1 hour, positive affirmations said. We're not robots that we just keep repeating it and we expect some change to happen in the human body. And that's why I say some parts of nutrition have become fad, some part of exercise has become a fad, and so has spirituality in a huge way, The most simplest example is when almost every religion or every spiritual practice talks about prayer, the power of prayer. Doesn't matter which God you're praying to, whether you're praying to the universe, a God, a tree, or whatever it is. But when you say a prayer, you back that prayer with faith and belief, and then you surrender. Which means once you pray, you're not supposed to really worry about what you've prayed for or asked for. But today, so many people are anxious, so many people have stress. They say, I'm spiritual, I pray, and they keep worrying about the same problem. So, that's when I say spirituality has become a fad, and that's when we need to really break down our practice and start really understanding the power of energy. Now, once in a while, each and every one of us, so you should look into the human body. When I say look into the human body, we take the human body and mind for granted. When you look deeply into the human body and really understand something as simple as what is the function of a cell in the human body? It's estimated that you and me, every human being has 50 to 60 trillion cells in the human body. Trillion. Can you imagine that amount? Difficult to imagine that amount. Okay? These cells are small in nature. They have various functions. They receive nutrition from the food that we eat. They assimilate, break it down, use energy to power all the other cells and vital organs in the body. And then the same cells pass out the waste products that goes into your blood and out of your system. Your blood secretes something called hormones, which are chemical messengers that basically allow communication between trillions of cells. In today's real world, we find communication just between two people so difficult. Now imagine trillions of cells communicating with each other through hormones. And this communication is further enhanced and controlled by the brain. So there are neurotransmitters, there are chemical messengers constantly working with efficiency beyond human imagination to make things work for us. So for example, you shake hands with someone. Okay, when you shake hands with someone, this involves the work of trillions of cells in emotion, transmission between the cell and the brain saying, lift your hand, identify this person, put it out, clasp that hand and shake hands. Now you can shake hands for the sake of shaking hands, and then I can shake hands with that person with so much of love and warmth that person can feel a difference in that handshake. That is energy. Now, can you imagine the intelligence of the human body to do all of this in a split second and add the emotion of warmth, which I've thought of? I like this person. I'm happy to see this person. Let me embrace this person to the extent that that person can feel the warmth in my embrace. All of this is happening. Trillions of cells in the human body. My point is, when we understand the intelligence of the human body, we start to stop taking our body and mind for granted. And we understand that if this intelligence in our body created us, it can also basically deal with most diseases. I'm not here to say get rid of your doctors and your pills and all of that stuff. I'm talking about something beyond medicine. If our body's created disease, our body has the intelligence to also possibly heal it. We've all read miracle stories of people who have fallen from the 40th floor and they just have a fractured hand and they haven't died. We've heard of miracle stories where the human body's been able to heal despite whatever medical science has said. Well, my whole point is there's a certain energy in the human body. Now, for example, when we smile, what happens when we smile? When we smile, these trillions of cells vibrate with the emotion of a smile, which is why you feel happy all over your body. When you're sad, all these trillion cells vibrate with an emotion of sadness or jealousy or anger, envy. Whether the emotion is negative or positive or whatever it is, it starts off with a thought. Okay, a thought is just a thought. It becomes a negative thought or a positive thought when we apply it with a feeling or an emotion. So right now, energy is energy. We can make it negative, we can make it positive. It's up to us, up to our mind and everything that happens. So your cells are vibrating with either a positive energy, a negative energy, low energy, high energy, which is dependent on the environment that we create inside of us and outside of us. We all know how the external environment can impact our cells. If it's a dark, gloomy day, it affects our moods. If it's a bright, sunny day, it affects our moods as well positively. So there's no need of any more evidence to prove that our cells respond to the external environment. Not just the weather. You can be in the room right now and you're happy. And it takes a split second for someone to say something that you don't like to hear. And your entire mood can change in a second. Which means that person's word or behavior or action is able to change your internal environment in a second. Which means trillions of cells vibrated with that new thought that you heard, attached an emotion, and it's now affected you. Okay, the same thing with your internal environment in the human body. Your emotions, how you feel in your heart, in your mind, and all of that stuff. Yeah, the secondary point is like, yeah, but some people make me feel like this, my job makes me feel with that. That's secondary. We're talking about the internal environment and how it's impacted by the external environment. So every cell in the human body is vibrating constantly with what we're thinking, what we're seeing. So I see something that makes me happy, okay, my energy changes to positive. I see something, I see a person that I don't like, or I see something, or I see something on the news that is negative. Okay, that immediately the thought is attached with that negative emotion and all my cells vibrate, which means if my cells, every cell in the human body is dependent on what I think, okay, and then on what I feel, it is affecting your digestion, your acid levels, your liver function, your heart function, your kidney function, your bladder, your bowel movement, every single thing. Now the third thing is, oh, everyone has stress in the world. Yes, everyone has stress in the world. That doesn't mean we accept it. That means we need to do something about it. Can we get rid of all our problems? Absolutely not. But how can we change the internal environment of our system so that we can accept certain things and let go of certain things? So a lot of people say, be positive, think only positive thoughts. It's not possible. There's not a person in the world who will not have a negative thought. Everyone will have a negative thought. Okay, it is what we do with that negative thought. So one very simple way of changing this is by tricking your subconscious mind every time you have a negative thought. So right now you can be sad, you can be angry, you can be feeling a negative emotion, but guess what? Only by smiling and holding the smile, even though you don't feel like smiling. But your brain knows that when you smile, it's an emotion that is connected with happiness and a positive vibration. So only by force smiling yourself through a stupid situation, two things will happen. It'll make the person in front of you really irritated because why are you smiling when we're having an argument or something like that? But that's secondary. You may be alone in your room, just smile and hold on to your smile no matter how stupid it may seem to you, because the intelligence of the cells that I just spoke to you about is real. There's a message being sent to your brain. Your neurons, they work. There are bridges between your neuron called synapses. These are constantly working like electricity. So you've wired your thoughts, you've wired your emotions. Guess what? You can even rewire them by changing them. And rewiring is something that we have to do all the time. You rewire electrical wires when it's not providing electricity to your socket points. You got to constantly rewire your brain. Your brain has electricity in. Your cells have electricity, and this has been proven. There is electricity in us, which is a form of energy, and how we direct it is extremely important. Now, when you have a negative thought, the idea is not to suppress the negative thought. The idea is not to try and control it. Most people have meditation wrong. They try to shut their mind off from thoughts coming in. That's not the way you meditate. Now let's say, for example, we have a negative thought. Oh, I'm sick. The trick is, how can I trick my subconscious into immediately making it a positive thought? So I'm sick, but I know I'm going to get healthy. I've just converted a negative to a positive. Let's take another example. Okay, I'm not losing weight. That's negative to me, but I'm working out, I'm starting to eat properly, I'm going to start meditating at night, sleeping well at night. I've just changed it into a positive thought. The idea is not to dwell on a thought too long. So if you're dwelling on a negative thought too long, guess what? Those chemical messengers, that electricity, it's going to work at the speed of light or even more than that. And it's going to draw you into a spiral, a negative spiral, which means it's just going to suck you deeper and deeper into negativity. Whereas positivity works the same way. If we dwell on a positive thought, it's only going to get more and more and more. So energy is energy. We make it positive or we make it negative with the thoughts that we think. Okay, we can have a negative thought like right now. I don't feel so good. Okay, I don't feel so good, but I'm gonna go for a walk this evening. I'm gonna talk to my mom and dad and I'm gonna feel better. So whatever it is, I'm converting a negative into a positive. My business isn't doing too well right now, but good. I have a great team. I'm gonna invest in training, make a few changes, and it's gonna get better. So I'm converting a negative to a positive. Whether it works or it doesn't work, whether your business changes or you lose weight, that's secondary. The idea is at a mind level, how quickly you can change a negative to a positive. So anyone can do that. Anyone can change a negative to a positive if we're mindful and we believe and understand how the human system works with trillions of cells vibrating either with the right energy or the wrong energy. So these are ways of tricking our subconscious mind. The same way our subconscious mind has been tricked into bad habits, it can be tricked out of them and into positive and good habits by rewriting it or rewiring it. And that is only something that you can do. No psychologist, no psychiatrist, no antidepressants can ever do that for you. It may be a crutch for you while you're getting better, but finally it's only up to you to rewrite and rewire and trick your subconsciousness from a negative emotion to a positive emotion. Okay, you've had a bad relationship, but how can you convert that into a negative, into a positive? Okay, I have a bad relationship with person A, but I still have a great relationship with my daughter or my mom or my father or my wife or whatever it is. Trick the subconscious into converting a negative into a positive, and that changes the vibration in a split second. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep.